Hi, everyone. This is Sarah Ghoshal again with you for our fourth in a series on teaching remotely in our professional development series. Um, so, in the past few weeks, we have talked about using discussion forums for online learning, the discussion forums in Canvas. We've also done small group work and wiki pages in Canvas. And then we also, last week, I did a peer review using either Canvas or using Google Docs, which I know some people really enjoy. And for those of you who teach at other schools, you might want other ways to kind of teach remotely without Canvas. So this time I'd like to focus a little bit on Twitter. So you can use this for synchronous discussions if you're not going to be there. So as we've talked about before, if you're sick, you need to go to a conference, there's a snow day, whatever it is, we want to keep our courses consistent. We want to make sure we're not missing out on anything. And let's be real, nobody really likes to rewrite a syllabus schedule. And so a really good way to engage your students when you can't be there in person is to use Twitter. Many of them already have Twitter accounts or would be perfectly happy to create one, which takes about 2 seconds. And you can, of course, if you don't want to use your personal Twitter or if you don't have one, create a separate account or a new account in order to interact with them in this way. So what I do is I explain to my students, I don't make it synchronous, right? So I do it asynchronously. I just give them a length of time. So you see that this semester I've offered it as a bit of extra credit, and I really just did it so I could show you guys, and I only had a few students take me up on this, but they will get the extra credit and I'll be able to show you how they use the hashtag. So I tell them by a certain day at a certain time, post a question about the first essay, the writing process, or the course to Twitter and use this hashtag, right? So this is our course. It's very specific. Nobody else in the Twitterverse is going to use this hashtag. So it makes it so that the conversation mostly stays limited to the students in your class. I tell them then to follow me, right, on Twitter, just in case I post anything, and if they enter the hashtag in wrong or anything, they can always go to my profile to find tweets. And then I tell them 2 days later, by Sunday, search that hashtag, find a question that your classmate has asked, and answer it. And then I'll go through and respond to some of them and so on and so forth and give them extra credit for it. So the cool thing about Twitter is that you do this all via hashtag. Now you can also do this by saying, during our class time on Thursday from 2:30 to 3:45, since we can't be here in person, you will have to be on Twitter and you will have to respond to each other using the hashtag. So the way that we do this, you see I'm on Twitter here. You just search the hashtag, and you can see that my students' tweets come up here, right? Not many of them. Again, it was just an extra credit assignment, so I don't have too many. You would probably have many more if you required this, I'm sure, for a synchronous class or even an asynchronous exercise. But you see students, what do you think is the biggest difference between high school and college writing courses? And then if you click on it, you can see what the discussion has been, and someone answered it here. And then, of course, you can answer it if you like. I have a couple of them went on for a little bit longer. For Jackie's tweet here, we're talking about marketing in our class. We're talking about a specific film. And so she had 2 students respond to her question. And so the way that they did that was they just searched the searched the hashtag as I did, and everything that has that hashtag in it comes up. And they can just kind of pick and choose what they want to like, what they want to, I doubt they would retweet it, but they might, what they might want to reply to. And then when I search the hashtag, I can see all of it by clicking on these and looking at the conversation. And so it really makes it so that students are conversing with one another, and they're here, they're on Twitter, everybody is together, and they're kind of talking about what you've asked them to talk about, but they don't have to be in class. And so I find that this works really well for just having a discussion about a reading. I did it here. I wanted to talk to them a little bit about their experience in the course, just for the extra credit. It also allows me to know what might be bothering a couple of them, and I can bring that up in class. So it is good for a check-in in that way. But I think it's really good. I've used it in the past to talk about readings, right? So let's say you have all of your students reading a short story. if you're teaching 106, or an article if you're teaching 105 or something like that. And you can say to the students, okay, please, tweet something using the hashtag that was interesting to you or fascinating to you, or that you had a question about, or post a question about the reading and have the other students respond. The cool thing about Twitter too is that you may or may not know, your tweets can only be a maximum of 140 characters. And because our hashtag is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 characters, that means that students have 130 characters to get their point across. So it's kind of an unwitting exercise in teaching our students to be more concise. I tell them that they cannot use more than one tweet to get their point across, to ask their question, or to answer a question. So this might be really helpful for some of you. If Twitter is a little kind of intimidating to you, my best advice would be don't be intimidated. It's really just the use of hashtags. And because, as I said, the hashtag is so specific to your course and the section number, no one else in Twitter is going to be using it. So it really is limited to just your students. Unless, of course, as with the student here, his friends decide to respond to it, which can happen. And I was quite proud of him actually, because he says at the bottom here, I'm just trying to get some extra credit here. So I thought that was pretty funny. But mostly it's going to be limited to your students, and you'll be able to see it all in one place, and you don't even have to go into the larger Twitter world at all if Twitter is something that you're not very comfortable with. But it does allow you to have a nice conversation and to view conversations between your students. So that's it for now. I really hope that you have enjoyed this online professional development series. We're going to look at doing some more in the future, maybe a Facebook Live event where you can all watch and ask questions through the chat. I think that might be really nice. So, of course, if you have any questions, you can always contact me. My email is goshals, GHOSHALS @montclair.edu. I'm always willing to offer any advice, or if you want to bounce some ideas off of me, I am here. And I'm so thankful to all of you for watching. Let me know if you need anything at all.